April 15, 2026. This is the S&P 500 E Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. It looked like there was one leg pullback, kind of a second leg. It did kind of create kind of a measured move, but I since deleted it just to clean up the chart. So something like this. And it actually bounced off this resistance of the measured move for quite a bit. So I was wondering if it was going to break through or going to come back down. And then I found this channel, this gray channel, up channel a little bit later. And then I was at one time playing this yellow up channel. And it was a sell off and then the second big leg up. So it actually turned out to be like one big leg here. And then the second leg maybe about right here. And it didn't quite make the measured move here. There was only really two setups that I thought were possible. And there was maybe a couple of almost trades. And overall, there weren't very many setups today that I thought were worth taking, especially considering if I was going for 6 ticks, maybe 4 ticks, you could have probably jumped on it, but it felt a little bit aggressive. There was no news on no economic data that came out to really move the market, according to Forex Factory. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. So it was a no trade day for me. So in the pre-market, it was just kind of choppy. It looked like it was one leg down, two small legs up, and the second leg down. The second leg could also be like two small legs here. It looked like it was a spike and then maybe a gradual channel. And then I tried to find a channel that would fit, and it looked like it fit the low side pretty well. The high side, I did have to crush this down and treat this as an overshoot, but if you kind of kept it wider, it doesn't really help at all. So, but this is also really early in the day that I wouldn't be taking a trade anyways, but it's just more for me to just get better at drawing channels and reading the chart. So in the pre-market it opens, well, actually it opens right here at the regular trading hours. You do have a first entry long pullback, second entry long. This just feels a little congested. I'm not the biggest fan of this right now. So pulls back down, pushes up, and it kind of makes successive high of days. And then it sells off on this orange down channel break, makes one attempt down, makes a second attempt down. Unfortunately, this is an inside bar. And then you do get kind of a lower high here, but this isn't a very good candle. So it does look like it's two legs up. It might come back down, test the low of this orange, but it didn't look that convincing to me. So I didn't really like this lower high. It pushes down here. You could say it's a first entry long pullback, second entry long, but these two legs look a little bit kind of not the cleanest. And this signal bar for the second entry long is an inside bar. Then you get a higher low here, but this higher low has the EMA kind of cutting right through it. And looks like it was just having some difficulty pressing successfully through this region until this candle shows up. So by the time this candle shows up, there's no trade to have been taken. Which is the high side. It looks like it's one leg down, push up, and then a second leg down. I call this an almost trade because this was nice that it's a strong engulfing bar of this, not the best signal bar. EMA ideally would have been lower to give you another key entry point to trust. So it never showed up. So I just didn't really like this trade. And then you do have a setup here, which is a higher low. The problem with this higher low is it is bouncing off the EMA, but now my concern is if you look at the high, it's like 70, 17, 75. And then the high here is about 70, 19. So 1775 is only 1 and 1.25 points away, so about 5 ticks. So if you went for 4 ticks, you'd have really no room for error before it hits this potential resistance area. And I'm trying to go for 6, so I'd have to ask it to press through and make a new high. So unfortunately, this candle, if it had been a little bit lower, offer a little bit more space before you run into this potential resistance, then I think it might have been a possible trade. So it's something I noticed. I had to evaluate it in real time and decided I didn't really like it. So since I didn't like it, just kind of waited, prices move up, break, press the high again. It just gets kind of choppy here with a bullish move up. Then it makes 2 legs down, and you run into the same situation here as you did here. And I did have a trend line drawn here that looked like it could have been a key entry point. Looks like it's 2 clean legs down, strong engulfing trigger bar, just like this one. Decent enough close at the high. Although it's far from the EMA, and you do have, I think, about 4 to 5 ticks, this might have been a possible trade, but I just wanted to leave it alone, look for a higher low. So this was a possible trade if you're a little more aggressive, maybe going for 4 ticks, and then you get a higher low here. And I thought this is also a possible trade too, because my concern that it was going to get stopped at this potential resistance was kind of defeated by the big push up and through. And so when it pushes up and through, get a higher low here. I was thinking that maybe it's in this channel because I just try to make a channel fit like this, but then there's only really two candles forming this channel. And if you do this, you really only have two as well. So eventually I thought maybe it's something like this because the high side fit pretty well. So I thought it was a possible trade if you're a little more aggressive because there's enough room potentially before you reach the highs here. And there's a break here. So I just kind of left it alone because after debating about it and I watched this candle close, then I was pretty much decided I didn't really like this trade after all and treated it just as one big leg, even though there's a higher low here. The follow through just wasn't that convincing. Then pushes up. Looks like it was making two legs down, pushes up, and then makes two small legs up, then maybe another leg down. I couldn't quite tell what the bias here was. So since I'm not smart enough to kind of figure out, decipher all this, I just decided I'm just going to leave this alone. Then prices move up in this green up channel, break, test the high. Again, it kind of gets in this choppy move here. No real second entries, mostly just first entry. You got to sell off here, and this is the first break of maybe this yellow up channel, which fits pretty nicely on the low side. And then the high side, it was a little more debatable, but I'm only looking for reasons to go long. So the critical side of this channel is the support side because I'm looking for reasons to go long. I mean, it only matter if I was looking for a reason to go short. Kind of bump this a little bit. And I wasn't looking for any reason to go short, so it didn't really matter. But this is the first break of this yellow down channel. Excuse me, this yellow up channel. Break, and then it starts reversing back up. Hits this, and I couldn't deny the measured move was effectively made right here. And I was very interested to see what was going to happen. It's a little off because I didn't quite position it right. It's not right here, but it was pretty much moving to the tick. And after these successive attempts and failures, I was starting to think that this might start seeing a reversal come back down. So it does push down. First entry long pullback, second entry long. I call this an almost trade because I don't really quite have as many confirmations that this support is valid right now. You could say you could, depending on how you did the count, maybe one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch, but I usually count this as just one touch, one attempt, second touch, and I need a triple test. And I don't really count this as a triple test. Pushes up. You got first entry short, and unfortunately, this is kind of like a visual second entry short. Maybe almost a touch bounce off the touch bounce off the measured move, but it never broke below. So if you had your order right one tick below here, it would not have triggered on this one. And then if it doesn't trigger on this one, then you got to pretty much call off the trade because the idea of it going short is kind of like starting to weaken. So it does look like it makes two legs up. Again, makes a new high, potential fail breakout of this range that I thought this might have been trading in. It makes a localized high, actually global high. First entry long pullback, second entry long terrible signal bar. Also looks like it's just one leg break and the second leg down. So there's no trade set up here. It starts continuing to move down with the EMA clearly pointing down to the bearish side now. So I'm thinking, okay, this measured move was pretty much respected. So there's one leg up, pullback, second leg. Prices in real time, I'm thinking prices are coming all the way back down to here potentially. Maybe it's going to make one leg break, another second leg down. So that was my thinking at the time. Don't really have any clean second entries here. Hits a low, pushes up on this big leg here. Break, test the high, break, makes a second attempt up. Unfortunately, there was no trade set up here. Then it looks like it's one leg down, pullback, second leg down. This is a second entry long. Other than the second entry long being pretty clean and deliberate, this is giving me a little bit of caution because it is right against the EMA. And keep in mind, I don't have this yellow up channel established yet, so I can't use it as a key entry point. I couldn't say like, oh, well, it's bouncing off this support, so I should go long. So since it didn't exist, this guy here, there's no other key entry point. And this blue channel I drawn actually isn't really helpful right now. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. There's nothing to hang my hat off of, so I was waiting for a higher low. And when it pushes all the way up, makes a new high. This is a higher low, but it's not as strong anymore because it has made a new high. Ideally, if the high was up here and this higher low showed up ideally a little bit earlier, then it would have been a good trade. Plus, the signal bar isn't the best. Makes a high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, terrible signal bar. It could be argued as bouncing off the EMA, but I'm not too sure of that. Pushes up again. You have a hidden second entry long here. It's like a first entry long pullback, second entry long here. Second entry long never breaks above this guy. It feels a little aggressive, and I'm pushing really close to this global high or high of day. So this is something I noticed in real time. I'm going to go ahead and just copy it, but I didn't think it was, I didn't feel the risk. I could take that risk. So it pushes up. I'm thinking it's moving up this green up channel break. Hits the high again. Pushes up. At this point, I do establish this yellow up channel. It kind of fit. I should kind of move since then. I had it like that because I know I had this guy touch and this guy and this guy. So I'm thinking prices are moving up this yellow up channel. It's kind of losing momentum because it's not pushing the high side, or this yellow up channel isn't fully valid yet. But in any case, I didn't see any possible trades to take yet. So it creates another localized high, well, not localized, the high of day. First entry long, and again, it pushes up. You don't really get anything else, and then it kind of pushes in a choppy fashion into the close. And even going into the close, prices all day have just been really kind of slow. We've seen that earlier this week where it was just not much happening. So there weren't that many setups. So kind of another lackluster day. I did see these two potential setups. Unfortunately, I didn't take them. And so it ends up being a no trade day, which I'm okay with. So hopefully the rest of the week turns out better. So hopefully that was helpful.